Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and today I am going to be talking about some of the new news that was announced this weekend uh, about Pokemon Wind and Waves. These are going to be the new Pokemon games coming out in 2027. It's a long ways away among the 30th anniversary of Pokemon for this announcement. Um, so this is going to be Gen 10, and I think it's kind of interesting. I watched the trailer, and I was like, you know, I have some things about it. One thing, obviously, I want to just say, even though I knew kind of that this was probably going to happen, is that it is a Gen 2 exclusive. Or I'm sorry, not Gen 2. What the fuck am I saying? Gen Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2. It's gonna be a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive. So it won't be on Nintendo Switch 1. I pretty much kind of figured that that was gonna be a thing. But I was kind of hoping in my mind that maybe they would include it on the Switch 1. I don't know why I thought that, but I mean, with AZ, I was like, maybe there's a possibility, but no, that ain't happening, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Wind and Waves is a very interesting choice. Um, so one of the features I'm hearing that might be a thing now is that they're going to have Pokemon become like the vehicles or whatever, and all of them. I know they did that in the last game for the legendary. I hated that. I wasn't a fan of it. I mean, it was kind of cool, but I prefer riding a bike in the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a while. Obviously X and Y, you had the roller blades or whatever. But I prefer the bike, man. Like, I wish you could ride the bike. um, so they showed this, and I saw the trailer, and one of the things that stood out to me, um, oh, shouldn't be on. It's a little early for that. Um, so first thing that stood out was this right here. Look, I'm not going to. How do I word this? I'm not gonna rain on people's parades for people that actually like these, but these are freaking horrible. These are horrible designs. These are horrible starting designs. Like, what is this? What is this? What is this? These are the three options we have for starters. This looks like some stupid baby starter face that you would find on some weird ass toy for like a kid. You know what I mean? There, like, for a baby, maybe for a baby or whatever. It just looks so dumb, man. Like, for a video game, it just looks so dumb. It comes off dumb. Okay? I honestly wish I could pass. That's how bad these starters are. These starter designs are. I literally wish I could pass. I'd pass and just let me pick let me pick a Pokemon from the wild. Let me transfer a starter Pokemon for Pokemon Go. Let me just skip, man. Like, this sucks, man. Another thing here is this right here. I saw this in the trailer, And I immediately said, "Oh my god, they're promoting Walmart." Like I literally told people in my Discord, I'm like, it's the Walmart woman. Like this is a walking embodiment promotion right here. Like, what were they thinking, bro? What were they thinking here? I think Walmart's about to get a sponsorship or something at this point. Um, yeah, I don't get this. I don't get this at all. I guess this is supposed to be because of the wave colors, but I mean, yeah, wasn't executed that really good. So these are what the designs are supposed to be once after the trailer, because that's all I seen in the trailer. But then they came out with these shortly after. Um, this is what the designs are going to look like for if you pick Wave and Wind. Wave, if you pick Wave, you're basically indirectly advertising Walmart. If you are picking Wind, um, they look a little better, I think. Um, so yeah, the wind design looks better. Excuse me. That's all I'm gonna say. The wind design, the white, they don't look like a freaking advertisement for Walmart. Um, like before anybody says like, well, they're just wearing blue, and I'm like, yeah, they're wearing just blue, but look at the design. Look at the yellow that they have with the blue. You know, like it's just a Walmart promotion without it being Walmart. Um, the white design for the hats and the backpacks look more, just it doesn't look like a promotion. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have an indirect color line like the Walmart one does. Um, so yeah, I very much prefer the wind design over the wave design. Um, if I end up getting a Nintendo Switch 2, I probably will end up getting what's it called? I'll probably end up getting the both of them. But I'm not sure, man. This just doesn't look right to me. Well, not for the wave one at least. The wind one is fine. I'm okay with the wind one. The wave one, I have so many questions. Um, so another thing here is that the thing I will say that I think is very interesting here is that the default hair for the our main male character over here has brown hair instead of black hair. Typically, for people that are not memorizing all the Pokemon characters, typically when you start the games in the past few gens, what they've done is that the male character will have a default hair of black, but you have an option to change it to blonde. Now, you can change the hair color when the game starts. Like once you get to the start and, give them a haircut and stuff like that, you can change the hair color to anything you want that they have available. Um, but the typical two default designs that you can pick from for the male is black hair and blonde hair. Um, However, here it seems like the male character's default hair color will be brown instead of black. Now I don't know if the second option will be black or if the second option will be blonde because we don't know. They haven't showed us that yet. Um, but it is interesting to note that the woman character is default hair color is black. So I'm wondering if hers will be also the second option will be blonde. Now again, you can change the hair color to anything you want that's available once you get into the game. But when you start the game, you will have either black hair or blonde hair, until you get to the point of where you get to the hair place, the hair store or whatever. That's typically what they've done in gens past. But here it might be different. You know, we might have a male character that default settings won't have black hair. Um, or we might have one that just doesn't have blonde hair because maybe, the secondary design is black hair and then the secondary design for the woman character is brown hair. Um, so kind of a different change. Um, I like it as someone who has brown hair. I have a medium brown hair, so I kind of like it. It's kind of hard to get the brown hair design. Um, in some of the past gens, you have to either go with a real light brown or, um, you know, or even a more darker tone one, but it doesn't really look like brown. Um, so I kind of like the default design here of the brown hair. Um, so yeah, that was one thing that I thought was kind of interesting. I know I shouldn't really gloat too much about it because I mean it is just obviously this is something that you guys can just change instantly once the game starts. But I just thought it was kind of interesting considering what we've seen in the past. Um, um, but yeah, and in the trailer they had the typical in the trailer they had their typical, this is not the finality of the gameplay and that this isn't necessarily what you will see once the game actually comes out. They do this all the time. It really always bugs me that the trailer looks so much better than what the game will actually look like. Um, they do that for every generation and it's such annoying. You know what I mean there? Um, but yeah, I mean, if some of the stuff that we've seen is any indication of what the game's going to look like, which obviously is not 100% accurate, um, looks pretty good. Um, you know, um, yeah, they're releasing it in 2027. Um, so we got a ways away for the game. It's going to be interesting because you got other games that are going to be coming out too very soon for that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm very interested to see what happens if I if I have a freaking Switch 2 by then. I mean, I really don't want to buy a Switch 2. Um, Personally, I don't buy that much anymore anyways. Gaming systems are getting way too expensive for my taste anyways. I mean, even the games, I don't even really buy that many games anymore because I just really can't afford it anymore. And then the DLCs, they kill everybody. I've really cut back on a lot of the stuff I buy because of that. Um, it's just getting really hard to buy all the stuff. Um, just wait for the stuff to go down in price, I guess, really. But with Nintendo, most of their stuff never goes down in price, right? Especially their Pokemon games, they never go down in price. Um, yeah, Pokemon. But there's other games that are going to be coming out that year too. We haven't even covered yet. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting year. Um, yeah. Pokemon 30-year anniversary. Um, I just wanted to bring this up and give my 2 cents on it. Will it look good? I'm very interested in seeing what their legendaries are going to be or what their new gimmick is. Not to mention a bunch of other questions about this is will we see these characters appear in the anime? Maybe not them exactly, but you get what I mean. Like something as a reflection of it. I don't know. Will we see other characters in the anime? Will we have new protagonists in the anime? Because that's another thing people have not brought up. You know, Pokemon Horizon, we don't know if that is going to be the characters going forward, like they did with Ash Ketchum. You know what I'm saying? Like Ash Ketchum kept going into every new gen up until Horizon, right? Are we going to see new main characters for every new gaming generation? Every new game generation going forward now, are we going to have a new protagonist in the anime when they go to a new region? That's something that I don't think has been really discussed. Is Liko and Roy just and Dot, are they just like one-offs? Where they're doing the Horizon for the 3 seasons while they do that gen, and then once that gen is over with, when they go to the next region in the anime, are we going to get new characters, for that, or are we going to continue with Liko, Dot, and Roy until they decide to eventually replace them like they did with Ash Ketchum? Ash Ketchum was pretty much the guy who they had for every regent up until this one. So that's one of the things that I'm wondering too, is like, are they going, and again, I guess it's technically separate from the games itself. But a lot of these games now are pretty much now coincide with how the anime is handled. Not 100%, because obviously the storyline has to be slightly altered for it to make sense with the anime and the main characters. But especially when they were doing it with Ash Ketchum, but they still use those characters, even if their personalities aren't the same necessarily from the games. They still use those characters to interact with Ash or now interact with Liko. So I am wondering that too, if that's going to be something that they do now going forward. Also, it should be noted, because I haven't brought this up yet, because we were talking about vehicles earlier, but it does appear that these trainers, or at least the guy trainer, it appears to be like a board. Like, that it might be a skateboard, actually. That'd be actually something if we actually had an option to use a skateboard to travel instead of like a Pokemon. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to use Pokemon again for the travel, which I don't like. I don't like that. Now, they did use rollerblades before in X and Y, so that would be something very interesting. That if they end up using a skateboard as your traveling device. I really wish they would bring back the bikes, though. I really like the bikes. I miss the bikes in the game, man. Like, I like riding the bikes in the Pokemon game. Like, that's the good stuff right there. Riding the bike and trying to find Pokemon. Yeah, I'm a bike rider, so makes sense. It makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, that's kind of all. I'll give my 2 cents on this. Again, there'll probably be more updates about this game later on, or in the future. But let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate, if you like the video, my videos. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell for the latest content. Thank you, and I'm out. I'm the Ultimate Goku. I'm out of here. Peace. Also, besides my YouTube channel, follow me on the Twitch, the Instagram. We do have a Discord link in the description where we discuss various topics, including this one here. Now I'm out. Peace.